So do you want me to do the 3 slide or?
I'll do it.
Sorry. Okay, you do.
Yeah, I'll do it.
Cool. So, first of all, I'm Leo. You might thank you. You might have heard about it from start, and this is my colleague Tony. And today we're here to present what is Metaplex. So Metaplex powers all the digital asset economy on Solana and the SVM. So what is actually the on-chain economy? First of all, if you ever interacted with a fungible or non-fungible token on Solana, you probably did it through Metaplex. We have the biggest standard for NFT, the most programmable and probably optimized one. And second of all, we power all the fungible token through the add-on of the metadata that we're going to talk about it later. So, what is Metaplex? Metaplex is 4 different things. First of all, it's an ecosystem of developer, products, and community members empowering digital asset creation on Solana. We have a foundation that is a non-profit organization that supports the development, security, and decentralization of the Metaplex protocol. We have the protocol itself that is comprised of all the infrastructure, all the tooling, and pretty much all the standard that power fungible token and non-fungible token. Then we have a DAO. You heard about it this morning, a DAO function. We have a DAO as well. So 50% of all the revenue of the protocol get given back to the DAO to pretty much power all the initiative to continue to streamline digital asset creation on Solana. And lastly, and probably the most important part, we have our community. Our community is a group of developers who use and contribute the open source protocol that we are building. Some number at scale. So we have over 600 million digital assets created in the last 2 years. We have 960 million transactions up to date and 8.3 billion of value created for all the infrastructure that we power on Solana. Some of the partners that you might know if you're in the ecosystem are Magic Eden, Tensor, naturally. It's a marketplace for NFTs. So they are one of the biggest use case that we have for our standards. Then we have Sharkify, that is a platform where you can lend your NFT or take a loan collateralizing your NFTs. And we're powering all the AI meme coin craze that is happening on chain right now. For example, the Trump token that launched last week was built on top of Metaplex. So, this is us. This is my. We usually, if you're in the ecosystem, you know that we don't do LinkedIn. We mostly use Twitter. So if you want to search for us, if you want to connect with us, you can find us at this username. In case you want to start a partnership, you can reach us out through email. Probably, if you send me a DM on Twitter, will be better. We'll be way more responsive. But if you want to do it the more Web2 way, you can send an email to partnership@metaplex.foundation. And in the middle, this is our page. So if you want to have all the information up to date about what we're doing and all the initiatives that we have open, you can just follow our Twitter page. Leave the word to Tony.
Thank you. Hi, so my name is Tony. I'm one of the engineers working in DevRel at Metaplex. So my main role here is to connect with you guys and help you guys build and on the chain, basically support you guys in any way that I can. I'm going to quickly talk to you guys about some of the programs that Metaplex have and how we power the on-chain economy, as Leo mentioned, with these different programs and these different standards. Basically, we've got 3 different token standards at the moment, which is basically a use case for anyone from like profile pictures to enterprise level and compressed NFTs, which are basically like the cheapest way possible to make NFTs. So token metadata was actually the program that started it all. It was built a number of years ago, potentially about 3 years ago or so. It started it all. All the original Solana NFTs that you probably have in your wallets, they were probably built with token metadata. And over time, it's developed a little bit of age. And there was a time where last year at Mountain Now, actually, we decided to make a new standard to improve things and bring things up to the future of blockchain and the possibilities that have arisen and grown with Solana. Bubblegum was the second iteration of NFTs on Solana. This was a compressed standard. This was designed to make NFTs as cheap and as easy as possible to make. This is great for enterprise level. And so for businesses who want to make stuff like loyalty cards or like travel stubs and stuff for NFTs, and just keep tracking of all that sort of information. So Bubblegum could be as cheap as like minting NFTs. Oh god, this number off the top of my head. You can mint, I think, up to 1 million NFTs, close to like 7 or 8 Sol, I think, at the lowest settings. So the possibility there is endless. A newest standard, Core, which has been out just under a year now. This took NFTs to the next level and introduced a new concept of a plugin system to NFTs, which hasn't been done before. So NFTs can basically grow with your project and can grow with your business and function the way you want them to function. Stuff like token metadata, things were a bit rigid. There was a certain amount of functions and options you can do with your NFTs. It was quite limited to stuff like send and freeze and basic stuff like that and burn. Core opens up this with this plugin system, which basically allows you to add stuff like autographs and freeze delegates, transfer delegates, and on-chain attributes now is a thing, which is great for gaming if anyone's developing games here. So this used to be the old mint accounts for the token metadata, which we see here. We had 4 accounts. We've taken it down to 1 account, so this basically makes the developing experience much easier with Core. So that was the needed change there. We're all going to be talking about this tomorrow. If anyone's around, we're doing Leo's got the non-technical workshop in the morning, or is it afternoon now?
It's, I think, the
first in the afternoon now, aren't they? Yeah. I've got the technical workshop, so where I'll be diving into making core assets, and we can go through all these accounts and making stuff with our JS SDKs. So how would you choose the standard you want to use? Token metadata, as Leo mentioned, is mainly used fungibles now, and some of the legacy type NFTs. So all the NFTs and SPL tokens that you see in your wallet will have a token metadata account attached to it, which will contain all stuff like the name, the URI, the image, etc., etc. Bubblegum was our scaling program, as mentioned, and Core was the newest. A couple of other programs we've got in our system to make NFTs more fun and more interactive with users. We have a hybrid. So a hybrid model basically allows users to take an NFT and set a token price, and they can swap between them at will, which also has a reroll function, which was made popular by a company called MutantMon. So basically they have like 250,000 assets stored, which were accessible on the metadata. And if you didn't like your NFT, you could basically do a reroll into tokens and then swap back, and it would pick one of these 250,000 NFTs and give you a new one, basically. So it was like options to gamify the experience. Candy Machine is the original program that basically distributed NFTs to users and made the purchase experience possible on the Solana. Candy Machine, basically you load all your NFTs into the program, and then a user will come along, select, basically pay the price that the Candy Machine has set, and then it will give you a random NFT from that. That's been a program which has been around for a good number of years now and keeps evolving over time. We also have a DAS API and something now new called Aura, which is basically making NFTs and indexing NFTs, fetching NFTs easier on the Solana ecosystem. So the DAS API basically takes all the on-chain data, indexes it into a database, and allows users to basically pull this data at a much faster rate, and without getting rate limited. So that's basically the functions of our programs. And as mentioned, we do have some technical workshops tomorrow, which I'll go through a little bit more detail about these. And that's Metaplex in a nutshell on the Solana ecosystem.
Does anybody have any question about Metaplex?
Thank you. Excellent presentation. Looking forward to the workshops tomorrow. On one of the slides, you had Baxis as an example of one of the users of Core. If I'm correct, Baxis is the alcohol, like the spirits Web3 store. How are they using Core?
So pretty much, other than simplifying all the development, we put a very big focus on like the programmability of the assets. So that's why we're seeing more of like people choosing to build on top of NFTs because of their programmability. So for Baxis, first of all, it was very, very important because they're a real-world asset tokenization platform. So pretty much the way that it works, you can send in your rare whiskey, your rare wine. You can send pretty much like all these rare spirits. They're going to tokenize it, so they can hold it for you. They have insurance and everything else. And in case if you don't want to drink it, you just want to trade it, you can just easily trade it for super, super cheap at the cost of a Solana transaction. So they use core NFTs because, first of all, we have lots of, they're called permanent plugin. And so this is very, very useful for real-world assets because you can create a way for the protocol to retrieve this asset or to lock this asset in the moment of like they get stolen, for example. So this this almost web to fill is needed for this type of environment because they're working pretty much mostly with Web2 customers. So they will not understand if, like, for example, their wallet gets stolen, and like they will not understand where is my asset. I just bought it, even if the key got leaked and like somebody stole my asset. Like, this is not a good experience. And so with like the addition of all these permanent plugin, they can always retrieve this asset, freeze this asset, and pretty much transfer it back to a new safe wallet for the user.
Okay, that makes sense. Thank you.
Paul.
Hey, so coming from the creative side of things, I've seen your present a few times over the years, and at this stage I was just wondering, is there anything that you just presented to us that you feel is underutilized, or like it really hasn't, it's like an amazing thing that hasn't really taken hold like you expected? Because, for example, I think hybrid just kind of blows my mind. I don't see so many projects using it, but I think it's amazing. I mean, I was just curious what your opinion on that was.
Yeah, so hybrid's still up and coming. It's used by a few projects now, but obviously we're pushing it more and more. A lot of the tools with core and the plugins, basically we built those. And it's one of those situations where we had an idea of what people are going to do with these, but people are definitely going to break that. Well, not break it, but they're going to go beyond these boundaries that we thought of ourselves. We're basically providing like doors. So there's like different use cases, like attributes which are on chain. There's a backpack which just started supporting online attributes in wallets. So now like gamers now can like see if you make an RPG, for example, they can see all their health and stats all online. That can change in real time now. And yeah, just the various plugins like the freeze delegates and the permanent burns and the permanent transfers. There's so many possibilities that we haven't even thought of ourselves that are just going to open up as soon as like people start exploring these options. Like permanent transfer, for example, like in a gaming scenario or maybe an event. Like I can, as the authority of the NFT of the permanent transfer plugin, I can pull that NFT back at any point in time. Or the permanent burn, I can burn that NFT at any point in time. Use cases, infinite. We haven't thought of them all. We never will. But yeah, so we're like super excited to see what the community comes up with, like all this plugin system, and basically see how it all evolves and that.
Yeah, I want to add something just on the hybrid side that we didn't see. Like, I think it's very, very useful for creator, just because you could sell, like you could create different varieties, and you can still continue to earn. So pretty much it's like if somebody's chasing the highest piece, they can bid pretty much on the NFTs and pay like a fixed price, and if they lose it, they will not get nothing. Like they will get maybe a more common piece. But if they really, really want the very rare piece, they can continue to re-roll that mechanics and pretty much continue to create a revenue generation forever for the creator. Because the creator could, for example, add a new rare NFTs after. And so all the people that maybe bought a common, this time are incentivized to re-roll to find the new rare. So I think like hybrid are very, very unutilized yet in the creator economy, but I think it's something that should be explored.
Hi, Malisha here from Streamflow. Can you explain your business model on fungible assets?
You want to take it or should I take it?
The business model of fungible assets is literally basically the NFTs. The fungible assets have token data on them, and that's where the business is basically generated. That's where the funding comes from.
So there is a fee, like the creator of the token pays a fee to be able to create the token metadata account, where all the data about your token are stored. So for example, the name, the image, and everything. So it can be readable on the explorers.
Thank you.
So that means that all the thousands of... Sorry. Thank you, Alex. So, B-Man here. That means that all the thousands of pump fund coins that are created...
Thank you, Pump Lot of Fun.
Yeah, exactly. Are filling into Metaplex DAO.
Correct.
Yes, up to this point, we have over 10 million token minted with token metadata, and 50% of all the fee generated by all these 10 million token get back to the DAO, so they can fund the initiative, like for example, the Dean's List grant that we talked about this morning.
Amazing. I think it's a great proof that open source can be profitable. So take notes, people. Mentioning grants specifically, Tony, we're in the grants program together.
Yes, we are.
I figured it might be good to kind of a little plug of what are we looking for in these kind of grants if somebody wants to offer.
That's a great question. So basically, we have Metaplex is actually supplying Dean's List with a big lump sum of MPLX for grants, actually. So we're actually looking for new use and innovative cases for core use cases on Solana. So we're talking about the fungible, we're talking about the plugin system here. We want people using plugins in an inventive way, something new that we haven't seen on Solana yet, which is basically going to launch Solana into the next level. And we want to fund that. That's something that's important that we feel like should be, well, celebrated on Solana, basically. Yeah, anything to do with hybrid and core, if you want to build with that, contact Dean's List, see if you can get a grant application, and let's see if we can fund you guys.
Any other question?
Hi. Recently, 2 months ago, I started using Sui, and with Suiland, I landed some coins and got back an NFT that showed in real time the value of the asset without doing anything. I see it in my wallet, I can see it right now, or I withdraw some tokens and put some others, and they modify the NFT in real time. Is something like that possible in Solana?
100% possible, and actually something that we're actively working right now that is pretty much like and we can call that like NFT-fi. So pretty much there is a very good idea behind that, because like the consumer doesn't actually understand how the account structure work on Solana and like every other because it's like the data is saved in the blockchain. So the normal consumer Web2 user don't understand why they can't see their position if they don't go to the website. With the idea of like wrapping around an NFT, that is something that pretty much like everybody knows at the point because of the last cycle, because of the fact that right now everybody pretty much has access to this tool, makes it very, very easy because, for example, as Tony said before, right now, on-chain attributes, there are the attributes that can be changed by the smart contract itself, are visible in Backpack. So for example, you use Backpack Wallet, you can always see the status of your position every time it gets rebalanced, because every time it gets rebalanced, the attribute plugin gets updated. So it's 100% possible. We're actively working with to try to integrate this into Solana as well. Thank you.
Hi, thank you for the presentation. And as a follow-up question, actually, I was wondering if there will ever be a way for these kind of applications where you have an NFT updated by on-chain values, for this NFT to be generated directly on-chain? Because I think last time I checked, the way it was done was that the upgrade authority was owned by some centralized authority that could update based on the values on-chain. Is there a way for a smart contract to do the actual image creation and update of the NFT? Or will there be a way?
Yes, there is. So even through token metadata, the old standard, and core, the new standard, we have something called update delegates. So you can delegate the job to somebody else. So in this case, you can have an array or a list of different programs or different authorities. Like if I make a project, maybe I've got the main update authority, maybe I give Leo secondary update authority because he's part of the project, and then maybe our program has the third update authority. So that can do some autonomous updating if it needs to.
Okay, yeah, thank you.
Any other questions? All right. Thank you, guys.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.